Hey everyone, hope all is well. So it's been a couple years since I've posted anything aquarium related. Over the past couple years we've had a lot going on with my family. We grew our family by one. We have a beautiful little girl and along with our 15-year-old son. So in that 2 years we decided to sell our house and build a new one because we needed a bigger one. So that's pretty much what we've been doing. With that move, I had to sell my 100-gallon cichlid tank, but I also had this 32-gallon reef tank that I was in the process of starting just because I wanted to get into saltwater just because it's beautiful. Known a lot of people with success with freshwater and saltwater, but ultimately I made the decision to stay salty. Salty. Anyways, so this is just an update of where I've been, what's going on, my experience with this fish tank. So I hope you guys enjoy. So as you see here, I have a 32-gallon Coralife Biocube with the stand, child locks, safety first. As you see, I've been in the tank, so I haven't put the child lock back together yet. But this tank has been through heck and back, people. I'll tell you what. It's survived 2 moves from our old house to my in-laws. And then from my in-laws to here. We moved in with my in-laws until our house was built, so for about 3 months. So in that 3 months that I lived with my in-laws, unfortunately the tank was right in front of a window. So for 3 months I battled algae, green hair algae, brown algae, cyanoalgae, everything algae. It was ridiculous. Guys, it got to the point that I was just about to give up. I couldn't take it anymore. I was losing coral. Luckily, unfortunately, I did lose that coral. Luckily, I didn't spend a lot of money on the coral because I would have been sad. Really sad, because this hobby is expensive, like I've said. So, even in this house, I've battled algae, green hair algae, all kinds of said things algae. It's the devil. But I finally figured out a couple of things that were going on wrong after tons of research, talking with people, all things. So ultimately it was my A, light schedule, and B, not enough circulation. So as you see in the tank, I have that circulation pump right there, which it's not on right now because I don't run it all the time. Just because it is big, it's the smallest one that I could find that was decent quality. So when I do turn it on, it causes this issue here, which that's pretty much settled now. So I only run it for about an hour in the morning, and then I run it for about 30 minutes when I get home, and then shut it off, and then I run it again for about an hour before we go to bed. So I've been doing that for about 4 days now, and it seems to be doing okay as far as, no algae buildup. I do have a little bit going on there, but I think that's to be expected. Just, I don't know. Still learning. Beginner reefer here. But in that 1.5 years that I've had the tank, the 2 that have survived everything are that hammer and then that plate. The plate, he looks a little bit hungry now, his mouth. Actually, it looks like I think he has 2 mouths. I don't quite know. Maybe somebody can help me out there. But he hoards all of said algae that blows his way. I think it's like his best friend or something. I don't quite know. I scrape it off. He collects it back. So we've just had a mutual agreement. He can keep it. So those are the 2 that I've had. I do have 2 clownfish back there. They're sort of hovering at the bottom right now. They're sort of mad at me because, I'm not going to lie, I've taken a couple takes of this video, and the first go around, they were hungry and I didn't feed them, so they got mad. They were literally like right here, the first video. But anyhow, so we'll see which one I post. I don't know. Recently, I've purchased this mushroom here, mushroom colony. I just call them greenies. My wife calls them ramen, like ramen noodles, because this hobby is expensive. And then I got those mushrooms right there. You can see them, they sort of blend into the rock. She calls those crackers. And then if you look here, Got that mushroom, same mushroom as the last rock, but then there's also a toadstool on there. He's not very happy because that mushroom is on his rock, but that's sort of how it came. I haven't fragged him yet because I don't have any super glue, but once I get that today, then I'm going to attach him to that rubble rock and then place him back in here somewhere. Obviously away from everybody else, so I might have to do some moving around. We'll see. And then that was last week. And then this week, yesterday, I went to North Texas Coral Fest, which was pretty cool. You know, it wasn't a huge venue or anything like that, but it definitely had some really good vendors, you know, really gorgeous, beautiful coral out there. A lot of it was out of my price range, but, you know, it's out of most people's price range. But at the end of the day, you pay for what you get. If you want something great and beautiful, you're going to pay for it. So out of that haul, I picked up some Acan. I've been looking at Acan on YouTube a lot. Shout out to Billy Pipes. He is all things Acan in my opinion. He's got beautiful tanks. I've watched his videos over the past few months, and you know, he's got a lot of information, guys, out there. So check him out if you're, you know, wanting to get into the Acans, or even just, you know, easy tank maintenance. You know, hey, break it down. That's what he does. So shout out to him. So with yesterday's haul, I got these 3 Acans here, and then these 2 Acans here, and then my nephew actually picked out that 2-header right there, so he's excited. And then I got this Acan colony, and then I got this mushroom. He's beautiful, beautiful orange. He's probably about 1.5 inches. Oh no, that's the hammer. About 1.5 inches. So he's pretty big. Not as big as these guys, obviously, but these guys are crazy. When they eat, they actually fold up and go around the food, and then they sit there for about 10 minutes eating their food, and then they open back up, and they are massively huge. So I actually have not fed the tank today. I have not fed these new hulls that I picked up yesterday, just because I had the lights out most of the day after I dipped them. Wanted them to get acclimated into the tank and get them a little bit happier. So, you know, we'll see where it goes. I'll probably feed them here in a little bit. It looks like some of the polyps, sorry about that, guys, are opening up. So, you know, they're probably definitely hungry for sure. What I have in the tank, what I run, it's basic stuff, guys. Eheim heater. It's actually probably too big for this tank, but that's what I had. I bought that circulation pump last week, just, you know, to fight that algae problem. So it's a Marine Land. I got it on Amazon. Woo, shout out Amazon. I don't know if I can say Amazon, so Bamazon. I don't know the rules of YouTube. And then I just, in the back, I have an in-tank media basket. I'll show you their sticker. In-tank. And then just a little digital clock. Running at 78 degrees-ish, 77, 78. With that in-tank media basket, I have, what is that, Chemi-pure blue, and then I got some pinky floss, and then just some other, ammonia removing floss type stuff, but I don't really think it works, but it helps, I think, so I'm just gonna keep it in there. Nothing's been wrong. And then got the little float magnet there. That guy, he does the best he can. I can't quite get back there, so I just sort of have to get in there once a week when I do my water change. But like I said, guys, this tank has been through heck and back. You know, I've battled algae after green hair algae. That was unsightly. So I'm trying to pick those out when I see them. You should have seen it before. It was all over this tank. It was bad. Got that figured out. All the rocks were like a really dark green. I think that had to do with the algae problem, but the snails are getting in there and they're getting all that cleaned out. I got a couple in there. You see one right there. He's actually got some hair algae on him still. I put some turbo snails in there. Oh, there's the clowns. They're showboating. Look at that. This guy still looks a little skinny. I've only had him for about a week, 2 weeks now. She's, you know, a little fatty. I'll tell you the story about him in a minute, and her. My wife named them foreclosure and bankruptcy. Foreclosure female, bankruptcy male. You see her trend here, right? Basically saying we're broke because of this tank. And this is a tiny tank. But anyways, so this video is going on and on and on. But yeah, also the salt that I run is Fritz Pro. I think that's what it is, Fritz Pro. It's the blue box. I started out with Red Sea, Coral Pro salt, but I kept my parameters were just all crazy off. Like I could never get them to just figure out. So I switched salts, and I've had nothing but good responses from the tank with that, minus the algae and stuff. But there again, that was contributed to, circulation and lighting. So anywho, guys, if I missed anything, sorry. I don't expect anybody to subscribe to me because it is a, now going on an 11-minute video. But, other than that, I am a beginner. So if you want to begin reefing, I suggest you probably look somewhere else for advice. But if you want my trials and tribulations, definitely reach out to me. I don't mind explaining my experiences and what I did. But we can go from there. So I hope you guys have a good one. Like, subscribe, give me positive feedback. I love the positive feedback. Even give me the negative. I believe in, what can I do better in this hobby besides shell out more money? Because Lord knows, this tank in here, I don't even want to know how much I spent so far. But anyway, all right, guys. Well, you guys like, subscribe if you want. I'll try to be posting more videos, and I'm definitely going to be posting more on my new tank rebuild. I have a 100-gallon rebuild that I'm doing. Old oceanic tank, and I'm redoing the standing canopy from a brown, ugly brown, to a white. And then I've had the tank resealed. It's good to go. So once I get that tank set into the house, then I'll be taking most of this rock and putting it into the new tank once it's cycled. I got some bio balls back there that I'll be using to cycle that tank, even though it'll take a few weeks, but I want to do it right. So once I have that big tank, it'll definitely be fun. So this looks like a lot of coral for a beginner, but when you get it into a huge tank, it's nothing. So, all right, guys, you guys have a good one. Like, subscribe, and happy reefing.